Hey everyone, it's World Film Geek here, and I'm interviewing Shawn Linden, a writer and director known for his films such as The Good Lie and The Fixer. His latest film, Hunter x Hunter, is coming out on December 18th. Enjoy the interview. So, Hunter x Hunter, that movie was really good. It starts out like really slow, like a slow burn drama, and then it jumps in your face and becomes this thriller, and it just meshing of the two genres. Excellent job.
Thank you very much. Thanks.
So, my first
That's a
question
good
is
way of describing it.
So my first question is, how did you get like what inspired you to write the film and ultimately direct it?
The film was written 13 years ago or something like that, in 2007. At the time, there was a number of different elements that provided an inspiration from uh, from my views on eating meat and loving animals,
Hmm.
to an appreciation of the gory fairy tales of, of, of centuries past,
Hmm.
and also some modern movies like the Vanishing and Takeshi Miike's Audition, the Dutch Vanishing, I should say, not the English one, which are kind of what you were describing, basically slow boils that build up and never really take a step back. So it's a very deliberate and measured pace that ends with a huge cataclysmic explosion of whatever themes they were building up.
That's awesome. And you have an excellent cast in the film, Devon Sawa, Nick Stahl, and I've been noticing this lately. Nick Stahl is like tailor made to play these antagonist roles, and he was quite
Oh,
surprised because
sure.
he comes out as this apparent victim, but then he turns the tables, showing his true colors. I mean, that was amazing. And meanwhile, you got Devin, who he's playing more tough guy roles, and here he is playing this dad who's just trying to, keep his business going, and he goes to by all means necessary to do whatever it takes. What was it like working with those two?
It was awesome. They were both in it full on, both feet dedication in a very tough shoot that was out in a remote place. Um, Nick is awesome because when he plays sincere, there's naturally a bit of menace behind him. So it feels just right when like he found the sweet spot for that character and he basically stayed in it the whole time. So it was great. Devin was also fantastic. He was really not concerned. He was really interested in nailing the authenticity and making sure that it looked like this was something that that he was a hunter who did this stuff on a daily basis for decades,
Hmm.
and he wanted to have that kind of familiarity. So to know that kind of both of those people, I got to see Devin at the beginning of the show before we started because he was shooting early, but Nick kind of came in halfway through, and we didn't have as much of a chance to talk beforehand. We had plenty of time to talk during the set, and that was talking to Nick was one of my favorite things to do because Nick would stay on set all the time when we were setting up and just be quiet and observe because he was a filmmaker as well.
Hmm.
And so one of my favorite times were just sitting down with Nick and chatting about his character when he didn't have enough or as much chance to do so as with the other cast. So and then Camille Sullivan and Summer Howell were both absolutely brilliant, and that whole family just decided to, like I said, go in feet first, and I think you can see that in their family dynamic.
Yeah,
It comes off as pretty sincere, or I hope so,
yeah.
as
It
it was.
it definitely does, especially when you just have Camille and Summer's characters. Devin's character trained Summer, and then when he goes off, it's like she's jumping to pick up where he leaves off, but Camille's like, "No, you're not ready for that yet." So I could still see her as that kind of concerned, overprotective mother type in a way, and I think that's what helped drive the emotional content between the family dynamic in terms of the family dynamic.
Yeah, the movie deals a lot with how we pass down information or traditions,
Mm-hmm.
and it kind of upends it a little bit because the father teaches the daughter tricks that eventually the daughter must teach the daughter must teach the mother those same things. So it's passing up into a generation. Yeah, so it's until I don't want to give away the ending. I'm trying
Oh
to
no,
go around.
let's not. I will say that was
Eventually,
yeah, that was a hell of an ending, but yeah, let's not spoil that one. Let's let the audience see that. Let their mouths
no,
drop.
that's it. But it kind of thematically gets back to being able to use the information as practical as opposed to theoretical when you're learning.
Yeah, exactly. That's why the movie's so good. My next question is, how long did shooting take, and what difficulties, if any, did you face? Because I know with indie films, you always worry about budget and timing, but here you are shooting in a remote area, so was the environment another factor?
Tons of stuff. Like the environment was like we were shooting in a place that's supposed to look inhospitable and potentially dangerous around every corner. And that's basically where we were. We went out to one of those places and shot in it. So we were off in some far-flung location with no supply line, no water, no electricity. It was basically like camping with a camera. The weather posed a ton of difficulties. Logistics posed a ton of difficulties. We had a 20-day shoot with one day that we had to go up to Calgary to shoot the wolf.
Mm-hmm.
So a 20-day shoot, when you're aiming high, if you're trying to punch above your weight, it doesn't allow for much room for surprises or for error or anything like that. So every day was basically a challenge to execute a hard day. And I had to depend on the crew for that. And they pulled through spectacularly. But, I mean, the weather, we had a force majeure, which I've been working in films for, 15 years in some capacity or another.
Mm-hmm.
I'd never been around for an actual force majeure. And we had a freak snowstorm that was the biggest snowstorm for that date in our history.
Oh, wow.
And we had it in the middle of our shoot, which shut down most productions in the area.
Yeah.
And completely, we were lucky that this snowstorm was at the end of our shoot because we'd spent the whole time shooting these beautiful amber leaves and, a forest that's just turning into autumn. And then the snowstorm came out and took every single leaf off of every tree in the forest.
Oh, wow.
So it was really, we were lucky that we shot all of our exteriors early on because continuity would have been destroyed.
Yeah, for sure.
Hills of snow and trees that looked like, bony fingers, which has its own beauty. It's just not the beauty we were using for the movie.
Yeah, exactly. But thank God you got through that in time.
Yeah, we dodged like a handful of bullets that were just like that. Like, we lost a dolly for a week, and we were a movie that never ever stopped moving unless there was a really specific purpose. And so we had to improvise to make sure that we had all of that movement that was consistent with the rest of the movie.
Wow. And I will say, kudos have to go out to the special effects team. Whoever did those special effects for like everything, even like the dead animals, they did a tremendous job on that film.
Yeah, they did awesome. And if you're, again, not to give away the ending, but if you're a makeup effects or special effects person, that's the kind of job you live for. Like, we had, our team was Doug Morrow and Aaron Murphy, who both had really some extensive experience with doing blood and gore.
Mm-hmm.
And Doug, the makeup supervisor, had read the script, 6 or 7 years ago, and was just waiting for the time that they could do this. So I think you can see some of their enthusiasm in the work with the quality.
Yeah, and it's definitely you know, as you said, 6, 7 years ago, it was worth the wait.
I agree. You did a fantastic job.
So my last question, with film production slowly coming on the rise, I know LA's once again shut down for now, but with everything else, are there any new projects in the works that you can talk about?
Well, depending on how COVID rolls out, or how COVID peters out,
Yeah.
hopefully this year, I would love to be shooting my next movie on a desert island in the summertime. That's my next script. That's my next project.
Well,
Unless something else comes up. But
pretty
as
cool.
a Canadian filmmaker, you kind of have to have a few projects going at the same time in the hopes that one of them gets greenlit. It's
Yeah.
not a fast process here, I'm sure.
Yeah.
In the States, but
So yeah,
but that's hopefully what, in a perfect world, that's what I'll be doing.
let's keep our fingers crossed then.
Yeah, me too.
So Hunter x Hunter is coming out on December 18th, and those who love a good slow burner and then followed by a jump in your face thriller will want to definitely see this with an excellent cast. And Shawn, you did an excellent job writing and directing, and thank you so much again for taking the time to talk about it.
Thank you so much for having me. I appreciate it.
All right, well, you take care and you stay safe.
Thanks, man. You too.
All right, bye-bye.
Thanks, Albert. Bye.